Hello paper crafters, the card I am presenting today is one of my favorite type of cards. That is the one created with just white and cream cardstock, with a slight addition of color green this time. It also has a shaker sentiment window. So let's get started and see how to make this project. I'm starting by creating a frame. I'm using the largest die from double-stitched rectangle frames by Poppy Stamps. I have cut it out of white cardstock and now I'm applying the double-sided tape at the wrong side of the frame. Then I'm going to stick this frame onto a piece of craft foam. This one I'm using is 2 mm thick. Now I'm using a craft knife and a metal ruler to trim off all the excess foam that hangs off the edges of the frame. You can also use a guillotine paper trimmer, but it will only work for the outer edges of this frame, not for the inner edges. So this is what I'm doing now, trimming off the inner edges. So if you are interested in the tools and products that I'm using, they are all listed on my blog as well as in the description of this video. Now the foam layer is exactly the size of the cardstock frame. Then I'm positioning this frame over a piece of cream cardstock to define where I should place the sentiment window. The die I'm using is called Little Halo Love and it consists of the word die plus a halo die. I'm placing a halo over the cardstock, taping it down, and then I'm sending it through the die cut machine. Now I am ready to attach the frame, so I'm flipping it over to the wrong side and applying some double-sided adhesive. I'm placing this small letter die to make sure it's enough space for the rest of the sentiment, and then I'm sticking down the frame. Then I have to trim off all the excess cardstock. The general rule for this technique is not to press too hard. It's better to run the knife several times instead. To create a shaker element, I'm applying the adhesive over the window. I'm using double-sided tape, but for those intricate areas I'm applying some tiny dots of glossy accents, and then I'm attaching my piece of acetate on top of the cardstock. I will use another piece of craft foam. I'm aligning it with the card panel, and then I'm holding it against the light to be able to see where the window is, and I'm tracing it with a pen. Then I'm simply cutting over this outline with the scissors. Now I can attach my card panel to this piece of craft foam with a cutout window. Again, I have used the double-sided tape. Then once again I have to trim off all the excess foam. You can see I have already applied the adhesive around the window and I have placed my sequin mix inside. I'm covering the window with a piece of cream cardstock, the same that my panel is made of. This is what my project looks like at the moment, and before I add other elements, I'm going to attach this panel on top of the card base. That is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. It actually has a lot of dimension, but it looks very neat from the side because the foam is perfectly aligned with the edge of cardstock. I'm going to attach the word die on top of the window, but you can see that this one that came with this halo is a bit too thin for this particular project and it doesn't stand out enough. So I'm going to use another die that is called Little Luxe Love, and this one is a bit thicker. I'm putting some teeny tiny dots of glossy accents onto the die cut because the glue should not leak from underneath the die cut. The reason I'm using glossy accents is because I really like how it binds paper and acetate. To finish off my sentiment, I'm going to use the alphabet die set. This one is called Classic Alphabet and it is by Memory Box. I'm adding just a little bit of Shabby Shutters Distress ink at the top and at the bottom of each letter. I'm also going to use another Poppy Stamps die. This one is called Tender Tulip. I have die cut this image out of white cardstock, and now again I'm adding a little bit of Shabby Shutters Distress ink using the sponge Dauber. I'm going to stack 3 flower die cuts to create one-dimensional flower. Needle applicator bottle with a liquid glue is the most convenient one for me to work with the small die cuts like those. And now I'm also adding the stem to the flower. I have placed all the letter die cuts on top of my card, and now I'm trying to align them as well as I can. And then I'm going to stick them down one by one using the liquid glue. After I have attached all the letters, I'm also going to add the flowers. I have used 3 of them, and I'm trimming the stem each time I'm attaching the flower to make it fit into the frame. One little last touch is to add some sequins right on top of the card base. They are from the same set that I used for filling in the shaker window. And that finishes my project for today. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you are looking for more inspiration, here are some more projects that you might be interested in. Have a great week, and I hope to see you again really soon.